because Queen Isabella and Ferdinand wanted to test the theory of whether or not the earth was flat or round.
Right, right.
Right? This was about many thousands of years before Columbus and these men of the Renaissance period. They already knew that the earth was circular. That spirit of, oh, the earth is flat, and if you sail on one side of the earth, you'll fall out into space. That's a madness doctrine. No, Columbus and these Jesuits, they knew about the 10 tribes of Israel, meaning the Hispanics and Native Indians, and they knew, okay, what was on the other side of the earth. Okay, that's why they came over here with an army, the Spanish Armada. They came over here with ships ready for war. Now, if they thought that they was really going to fall off the ends of the earth, they would never even attempted such a journey with such weapons. They came with weapons because they knew that the natives would be so-called quote-unquote hostile. Okay, like in the movie Avatar, they referred to them as hostiles. And anytime in a military combat unit, they referred to the enemy as hostiles, meaning those that engaged with them in battle. You understand? So they already knew that there was people there on the other side of the earth. And Columbus already knew this, and he came over there to prove people wrong. That's a doctrine. Columbus knew and people knew. There was no doctrine of a earth being flat. Everybody knew since the time of Isaiah before that the earth was circular. All right, and this scripture cuts that for those that want to run with that doctrine in school. Okay, read on.
And the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers.
The inhabitants, meaning man, women, and earth, and not earth, but animals and anything on this earth are like grasshoppers in the eyes of the Father. Read.
That stretched out the heavens as a curtain.
Read.
And spreaded them out as a tent to dwell
Right,
in.
so basically God is the one that stretched out the heavens for us to dwell in and stretch it out as a tent for man to inhabit. So it was God that did all this according to the scriptures. That was his purpose of creation. Read on.
Verse 23. That bringeth the princes to nothing. He maketh the judges of the earth as vanity.
Right, so the judges of the earth represents the rulers of the people as vanity, meaning they're worthless. In his eyesight, the Lord has power over them to judge them according to the scripture. So go back to St. John chapter 1, verse 1. Now we get the understanding of more so of the God text of the Father and the Word. Read what you got out.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
Right, so now in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, meaning it was a power. Okay, it was part of the Elohim or the Elohim in the time of creation of Genesis. And the Word was God. In the beginning, the Word was with God. So now we read Genesis 1 and 1, we understand that when it says the word God, it represents the Most High, the Father himself, and the Word. Okay, that's the Elohim, the powers. Go to Psalm chapter 90, verse 1. Okay, let's break it down. Okay, let's go to the book of Psalm chapter 90, verse 1.
Lord, that has been our dwelling place in all generations.
Right, the Lord is our dwelling place throughout all generations. All right, meaning that the Lord said he would dwell in the midst of Israel. Read.
Before the mountains were brought forth.
Before the mountains were created. Read.
Were brought forth, or ever that has formed the earth and the world.
Right, so God was the one, the Lord was the one that formed the earth and the world according to scripture. Read.
Even from everlasting to everlasting, thou art God.
Right, that's why I said in the beginning, well, God created the heavens and the earth. John speaks about in the beginning in St. John's first chapter with the word and God. Read.
That turneth man to destruction, and says, return ye children of men.
Right, return unto him. Meaning when you die, your body goes into the elements of the earth and your spirit goes back unto him to be judged and to be dealt with. Read.
Verse 4, for 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday when it passed.
Right, so you gotta understand something, like to us 1,000 years is a long period of time, but to the Father is like one day. It's like yesterday to us is like 1,000 years to him. All right, so Christ died a little over 2,000 years ago. To the Father is like 48 hours. The time to him is nothing. Right? He's on a different timetable than us.
Yeah, that's why the scripture says one day of the Lord is 1,000 years.
Right, in Hosea 6 and 2, I think.
Is it Hosea 6 and 2? No, I think it's in the book of Peter. I think 2 Peter.
3 and 8?
Yeah, 3 and 8.
Right, Salakia. 3 and 8, right.
Yeah,
Come. Hosea 6 and 2, when it says in 2 days he shall raise us up, and the third day we shall live in thy sight. Cut. Because men was using that scripture to prove the 2000 doctrine.
Right.
That's why I went to Hosea 6 and 2 offhand. But yeah, the brother's right. It's in 1 Peter's, I believe, 3 and 8, or 2 Peter's 3 and 8.
Or 2 Peter's 3 and 8.
One of those Peter's 3 and 8, something like that. So read on.
All right. And as a watch in the night that carries them away as with a flood.
Read on. So that's it on that. So that's basically how the Lord deals with man on the earth in the midst of time. All right. So time is nothing to the Most High. All right. And he's not on our time. We're on his time. You understand? That's the bottom line to it all concerning the beginning of creation of times. So when it says that on the sixth day, that's talking about the 6,000th man year of creation.
That's right.
All right. So a lot of people think that it actually took 6 days for the Lord, like 24 times
hours.
6.
Yeah.
All right. No. Okay. One day was 1,000 years. So it took about 6,000 years for the Lord to create the heavens and the earth. All right.
Yeah,
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, it didn't happen in our own 24 hours.
Right. Nah, it didn't happen in a week time span that we know of time as 24 hours. No.
Nope.
24 hours with us is like 1,000 years with God, or or vice versa. If you get the understanding, one day with us is like 1,000 years with God. 1,000 years with God is like one day with us. So he's on a different time span. He's in a different dimension of time.
That's right.
To him, Christ just died 2 days ago. Like we will look at 2 days ago. Like today is on the Sabbath. Today is Saturday right now. All right. And to him, it's like as if Christ died to our Thursday. The Thursday just passed.
Right.
Christ died and was resurrected like in that time span to him in his mind state. So he's in a different dimension of time than we are. So when it says 6 days the Lord created the heavens and the earth, that's talking about 6,000 years. It took 1,000 years for man, birds, animals, 1,000 years for that, 1,000 years to create the waters, the foundations of the earth. It took 1,000 years for all of that. Okay.
1,000 years on the first day, 1,000 years on the second
Come.
day, on the third day, on the fourth day, on the fifth day, and the sixth day. And on
Beautiful.
the seventh day, the Most High rested.
Right. The seventh day, which represents the 7,000th year, like 1,000 years, the Lord rested from His work that He made. Okay, from creation. So read. Go back to St. John chapter 1, verse 1 now.
And the beginning was the Word.
So now we get the understanding of the beginning, what that's talking about. When it said the beginning was the Word, so we know that the Word was there during the time of creation. When the Lord created the heavens and the earth and everything therein, okay, there was the Word. The Word was there also. Now we got to understand basically what was the Word. Now we got to get the understanding of that now. Right?
And the Word was with God.
Now when it says the Word was with God, what is that talking about? First of all, the understanding of the Word represents wisdom. Okay, and one entity of it. It represents wisdom. Let's prove it. Hold that. Give me Proverbs chapter 8, verse 1. Okay, and one entity of it, the Word represents wisdom. Okay, the wisdom that the Lord possessed to create everything. Okay, to create the Elohim and everything, it was pure wisdom. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 1.
Doth not wisdom cry?
The scripture said, doeth not wisdom cry? Read.
And understanding put forth her voice.
Right. Understanding and wisdom is what the Most High possess, and that's what He gives unto man who He finds favorable to give unto. All right. Drop down in verse 12. Now we understand Proverbs 8 is talking about wisdom. Drop down to verse 12.
Verse 12. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and I find out knowledge of witty intentions.
Right. Witty inventions.
Inventions.
Right. In other words, whenever a smart invention is made and created, that's by wisdom. Understand? So everything that we see in our eyesight during creation was created through the wisdom of the Most High. It was pure wisdom of witty invention. Okay, we get the understanding of the scripture. Excuse me. Drop down to verse 22.
All right, verse number 22. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of His way, before His works of old.
So the Lord possessed wisdom. Wisdom was possessed with the Lord in the beginning of His way. So now we go back to John 1 and 1. It says, in the beginning was the Word. You go back to Genesis 1 and 1, it speaks about in the beginning God created heavens and the earth. So now you know that wisdom was part of the Elohim. Wisdom was part of the Elohim as well. It's basically breaking it down. Read on.
I was set up from everlasting.
The Lord said that wisdom was set up from everlasting. Read.
From the beginning, or ever the earth was.
Right. So before the earth was even created, the Lord dwelt with wisdom. The Word was with God, meaning wisdom was with the Most High. Read.
When there was no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water.
So this is basically the earth. Before anything that you could imagine was created with, and that is now known as earth. All right. Wisdom was there before earth. Wisdom was possessed with the Father since before everything was created, since the days of old. Read.
Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. While as yet He had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When He prepared the heavens, I was there.
Right. So when God created the heavens, wisdom was there. Read.
I was there. When He set a compass upon the face of the depth.
Right. The compass upon the face of the depth. Meaning when the circular motion of the earth was created, wisdom was there before that. Read on.
When He established the clouds above. When He strengthened the fountains of the deep. When He gave to the sea His decree that the waters should not pass His commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth.
When the Lord, before the Lord even